peace, and love. Soul Group. It's that guy, the focus guy, back with another video on fucked up perspective. We've been hearing a lot of different perspectives on Hurricane Emma and Hurricane Andrew. A lot of folks think that this is Mother Nature. Then you have a group of individuals who think that this is the wrath of God on Babylon. The great Babylon has fallen. And then you have individuals that say, hey man, this is HAARP. This is man-made. Man is doing this. The elite, the kebab. So I had someone send me a video saying, I got proof, Derek. I got proof that this is HAARP and CERN and chemtrails. We're going to watch this video right after the troll. Hey, yo.
Now that's fucked up.
Perspective. All right, let's get into this video. I'm anxious to see this one. I'm on the fence in this one. I'm pushing more towards HAARP. I think it's HAARP. I think it's being controlled by conscious breakaway societies, incorporated with the kebab, you know. So let's just see. Let's just see. This one is a little long, so get your popcorn. This is 19 minutes. I won't stop the video. I'll let it play through, and we'll come up with the best perspective for you.
Although I didn't start ODD TV until 2015, I've been an avid researcher since 2012. One of the very first topics that I came across was chemical aerosols that are distributed by airplanes, otherwise known as chemtrails. You can see them with your own eyes, and it's extremely easy to see that they are not condensation trails due to the chemicals staying airborne for hours and not dissipating. Another topic I ran into early on was HAARP, which is a facility that uses ionospheric heaters to tamper with the weather. They now claim that HAARP is no longer in operation, but we'll talk more about that here in a minute. Many talking heads and government-sponsored websites will try their best to keep people from looking into the subject by ridiculing it and acting like it doesn't exist.
There are people that believe that the cloud-like trails you see in the sky behind jets are actually the government spraying evil chemicals. Now, I have to admit that I am very skeptical when it comes to the idea of chemtrails.
HAARP stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program.
There you go.
Oh, here we go. HAARP. Every conspiracy theorist's ears just got a little bit bigger. For those of you who don't know what HAARP is, it's a top secret military installation that some believe is being used to weaponize the weather. Do you feel like HAARP has anything to do with these weather modifications?
Just like if you're going to build a house, you don't use one tool. So I think there are multiple tools, and HAARP is one of them. Whether it's the primary one or not, I don't know.
He is a chemtrail believer. I'm not buying that chemtrails are causing all these things. I'm going to talk to a man next. His name is Mick West, and he runs a debunking website where he clearly and scientifically analyzes all of the problems with the conspiracy theories behind chemtrails. Are chemtrails real?
No, it's impossible to make a mile-wide trail by spraying powder. All that happens when a plane flies through the air is that it triggers a cloud. It's not actually really making a cloud. The cloud was ready to happen anyway.
What are your thoughts on, like, HAARP?
Well, there's really wild speculation about what HAARP could actually do. Like it could, create earthquakes and change the weather. But that's just basically wild speculation.
The fears of HAARP, you feel, are just based on ignorance.
Yeah.
We have our super skeptical science sleuth, Carly Kloss, out there, hot on the trails.
There are many wild theories about the billowy trails emitted by aircraft that decorate our skies.
Look around, look at this.
They're accelerating their plan, man.
Why are they doing it?
Genetics, population control.
Look up, people! Look!
Chemical trails. Is there any truth behind this speculation? I decided to take my inquiry to Tory Ward, a commercial pilot with over 11,000 hours of flight experience and more than 80 types of aircraft. He should have a scientific explanation for what those mysterious streaks in the sky really are. So Tori, these long white lines that are left in the sky after a jet flies through the air, is there any truth to the theory that there's chemicals that are released by the government?
Absolutely not.
What about to control minds?
No, they are very much conspiracy theories. It is a condensation trail. Contrails are formed by generally aircraft at higher altitudes where the temperature is cold enough and also moist enough.
Okay. There you have it. Myth debunked. Chemtrails, they're just not real.
Very cool. Very cool.
The funny thing about that is they must have been left out of the loop because this is verifiable public information. Let's start with a 2009 document from the Royal Society called Geoengineering the Climate, Science, Governance, and Uncertainty. This document is loaded with information that Joe Rogan, Mick West, and Bill Nye will deny without any real rebuttal, including this part on page 4 that says, weather modification dates at least back to the 1830s when the proposals of American meteorologist James Pollard Espy to stimulate rain by controlled forest burning led to him becoming feted as the Storm King.
Wow.
Anyway, I will link this document in the description along with everything else. Next up is a NASA document from 2001 called Future Strategic Issues, Future Warfare. I've covered this in a previous video about chemtrails, but just in case you're new to this, here's a short clip from that video. So check this out. This was written by Dennis M. Bushnell, Chief Scientist at NASA Langley Research Center. Future Strategic Issues, Future Warfare, circa 2025. The future is now. There are many things in the pages of this document. I just want to briefly show you page 43, Microdust Weaponry, a mechanical analog to biomicron-sized mechanized dust which is distributed as an aerosol and inhaled into the lungs. Dust mechanically bores into lung tissue and executes various pathological missions. And here on the bottom, a wholly new class of weaponry which is legal. So is the future in 2025 or is it now? You know, that really doesn't even matter. If this paper was released in 2001, then they obviously have been working on things like this and programs like this for many years, most likely many decades. And the paper says circa 2025, which means roughly 2025. I think depending on how you look at it, the time we're living in now can be defined as roughly 2025. And check this out. We go to metabunk.org where this dude named Chuck is like, I found this supposed NASA document. Is it real? And Mick West replies, it's not a new document. It's an old PowerPoint presentation from 2001. There's nothing new in it that's not in many other books and papers on the future of war or futurism in general. Then it just goes on talking that usual Mick West bullshit. So this presentation is nothing to worry about because it's a few years old. Are you kidding me? At least he tried, I guess. After all, he is only an employee for someone that doesn't want information getting out. Now, let's look at one last document. This one is called A Recommended National Program in Weather Modification. Another NASA document, but this one is from 1966. This one talks about the Department of Agriculture's Weather Modification Program. ESSA's, or Environmental Science Services Administration's Planned Weather Modification Research Program, the Department of Defense's Weather Modification Program, the Bureau of Reclamation's Weather Modification Program, National Science Foundation's Weather Modification Program,
1967,
the Federal Aviation Agency's Weather Modification Program, and finally, NASA's Weather Modification Program. If these were all from 1966, can you imagine what's taking place now?
What's going on now? Yeah,
Speaking
hurricanes.
of 1966, a movie called Our Man Flint came out, and it's about an organization called Galaxy that seeks to control the world with their machine that's capable of controlling the weather.
New York, San Francisco, New Orleans, Marseille, every seaport's in danger. Who is doing this and why, huh?
It's the work of madmen.
Oh, mad, sane. Oh, they're brilliant. They're demonstrating that they can control the weather.
Turn wheat belts into deserts. Put icebergs in the Mediterranean. You control the weather and you control the world.
Ooh. And this is 1966, ladies and gentlemen. So imagine what they're doing now.
I don't know, sir. It's on all channels.
Who are they?
People of the world, there is no need to panic. Please do not be alarmed. We are your friends.
Members of the Grand Council, you have just witnessed a live transmission, remote control from the Arctic region.
Get a radio fix on this.
Through the inducement of regulated tremors along the established fissures in the Earth's crust, we are now able to control local weather conditions throughout the world.
For the more skeptical among you, we have prepared further proof.
On the southern edge of Iwo Jima is the extinct volcano known as Burichabi.
In the Chukotsky region, on the northeast tip of Russia, lies the dormant volcano known as Amgoyamska.
In exactly 10 seconds, we will cause these ancient volcanoes to erupt with a Richter force of 4.9.
Oh, dude. Damn.
Seismology reports a Richter reading of 4.9 at both locations.
The Galaxy organization's logo looks a lot like the Freemason square and compass.
It does.
Just saying. While we're on the subject of television, let me give you a few more. You know that's my thing. There's an Underdog episode from 1965 called Weathering the Storm.
Oh, shit. You guys remember Underdog? That was my show.
It's a huge storm.
But this is impossible. Our scientists promised us good weather, and they're never wrong.
But they were wrong this time, and the reason for their error was Simon Bar Sinister.
I actually remember this episode.
Look what happens to the world when I use my weather machine. I push the key for rain, and it pours. Now watch this. Simon says, tornado twist.
On the original Bionic Woman TV show, there is a 3-part event called Kill Oscar, where there's this mad scientist capable of controlling the weather using a machine.
Okay, you can check my hearing because I just heard a thunderstorm. Now there's nothing in that sky, not a cloud, nothing.
It's our weather control station. Actually, it's the experimental lab for the full-size working model we're building at White Sands.
1967, ladies and
Are
gentlemen.
you talking about things like watering deserts and controlling floods?
Yeah, that was the plan. But after some early success, we ran into some real problems. If we bring rain into one area, it causes drought in another. And international law isn't even written on a country's rights to air currents.
Yes, but Rudy, if it works, that's fantastic.
No, it's not as good as it sounds. There are basic instabilities. We have a limited power to create severe storm conditions, but we can't control the damage.
1984, G.I. Joe, Revenge the Cobra.
Soon Flint and the other Joes will pass directly over the pit of chaos, and there they will learn the folly of pursuit. With my new invention, the Weather Dominator, I shall destroy G.I. Joe with the irresistible power of nature itself.
Damn.
You have no hope of resisting our might. We control a new power. The raw strength of nature
Right out the
itself,
circle.
against which there is no defense. Watch. Watch as I unleash the sea and sky to do my bidding.
There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen.
He's not fooling around.
I shall continue to unleash the terror of weather gone mad until you surrender to me
Pyramids.
and acknowledge
Wow.
the rule of
A 1998 movie called The Avengers, where Sean Connery seeks to charge people for good weather and punish others with bad weather.
Above you, the weather is changing. The temperature is dropping. Soon it will be freezing. Why? Because the weather is no longer in God's hands, but in mine. Those clouds, all controlled by me, are recreating the weather. I have set off a chain reaction that will paralyze and ultimately destroy the city.
And one more interesting clip from the 1998 X-Files movie.
Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting crooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Negotiating with whom?
I think you know.
This is deep. This is deep. This is
The timetable
deep.
has been set.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause the video. It's 19 minutes long, and I actually included a link to the original video, which was uploaded by Reality. I just want to give my take on this, because you'll have some people that'll say, dude, they're freaking cartoons. You know, you can't take this serious. It's a cartoon. Well, listen, from that perspective, then you can't take music seriously. You got millions of songs that people, you know, create from their energy, from their creative life force energy, from the soul. You know, music is the universal language. Somebody had to create these cartoons. You know what I mean? Everything has to be exposed. Now, I'm still trying to figure out on my journey why it has to be exposed, but it's codes, all little trails everywhere. Now, why are these cartoons so important? Because these cartoons implant these downloads when we're little children. You see, you got to pick this up. You got to open up your mind and use your multi-dimensional abilities, and just don't see things one way. A lot of children watch cartoons, so they're embedding these downloads in the minds of children, and then these downloads begin to grow, and then we become adults and we get dumbed down and numb. They're telling us all along what's going on, but you know what we're saying? It's just a movie. It's just a cartoon. Well, tell me that Hurricane Irma was just a movie, or Andrew, or any of the other hurricanes. They've been telling us this since 1966. This is a great video. Now, some will say this is fucked up perspective. They're just cartoons, Derek. But I still choose to believe that this is a breakaway society. This is just the language that I use. These are breakaway societies, very conscious beings that have technology beyond our capability of even comprehending. Okay, and they have a book that's been published for 6,000 years that tells the whole story. Why are these things in this book? Because there's a bloodline that's been controlling the print of this book. There's a plan. It's already written out. Time is linear. You can see the beginning and the end. Okay? And we'll get in a little deeper, into this, but it's already done. It's a game. We already know what's going to happen. That's why shit is popping up and prophecy is being fulfilled, because this game already has a beginning and the end. So this was a great video. I would love to hear your take on this in the comments section. Do you think it's HAARP? Do you think it's chemtrails? Do you think it's Mother Nature? Do you think it's God that's judging the United States with these hurricanes? What's your take? Leave your comment. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have a video that you want us to give our perspective on, send it to the link right above this video. There's also a link in the description box. Peace and love. I'll see you guys and gals on the next video. Peace.